What I would like to compare, and just to kind of like balance things out here, is just to show you some raw data, and we can pull this up on the screen. Is in from 1985 to 2000. The percent of the median income needed to purchase a median price home, right? So that the average buyer making the average income on an average home, the price of the mortgage of the home was 21.2%. During the bubble, it was 25.4%. Right now, in today's market, we're at 14.9%. People are very comfortable with the mortgage payments. Interest rates are low. Homes are still on the incline because we're in a recovery from the crash. So we're making up for lost time. Right now, the fact of the matter is we're actually qualifying people for homes that they're very, very comfortable paying right now. And I don't see any trouble here when we're comparing this to the market or even the actual historical norm from all data collected. We're at 14.9% of the median income goes towards somebody's mortgage. That's pretty comfortable to me if you think about it. That's 1 in 7. That's 1/7 of people's the median income going towards somebody's mortgage. I mean, people are wanting to qualify for more. I mean, bigger homes are more popular now. You know, people are not just living at home now. Now they're working from home. You know, they're starting their own businesses from home because they're seeing that a lot of businesses failed, but now a record-breaking amount of businesses have opened because of that. This is an incredible comeback that we're seeing. People are using their homes in different ways, and it's just incredible to see how America's bouncing back. So
listen to this. So I was actually doing some research on the topic of cash out refinances, and actually it's not easy to find a lot of data on exactly how much of this is turning over recently. Yeah. But there is a guy named Nikolai Rusanov who is he's a Wharton finance professor, so Wharton Business School, and I believe he's out of University of Pennsylvania. And his co-author, they wrote a paper. They did a ton of research on refinances going into housing crashes, say recessions. And what he said, let me read the article from Wharton UPenn. He said, he starts off by talking about how times past, people started using their home as an ATM. He said, that's what happened a decade ago when the housing market collapsed. Yeah. New research from the same guy, Wharton finance professor Nikolai Rusanov, shows that the pattern wasn't particular to that one recession in 2008. He says, looking back 30 years, Rusanov and his co-authors found a cyclical pattern of refinancing before each recessionary period. Now, if that is true, right, and you stare at this graph, okay, let's all stare at the graph. Right? Where was the last recessionary pattern? So you had a blip at the end of the dot-com bust here going into 2000. But then going into 2007, 2008, it just never stopped. And I mean, as you can see, in the early 2000s, you had a trend, according to Freddie Mac, of cash out refinances just taking off early. Now, it took, from 2002 to it took 6 years of people piggy banking the house, cash out, ATM, taking tons of equity out before anything happened, okay? Yeah. So you got to look at this. There's no question that in the last year, the climb has gotten much steeper. The volume of cash coming out has gotten much higher than it has at any point in the past 10 years since that time, okay? We're at record levels post-Great Recession, okay? That's true. But at the same time, if you look at this, there were steep climbs, then there was some more descents, and then there was more money, okay? Yeah. So with all that being said, recession may not be around the corner. Like it may be, we might be at the start of 5 or 6 years it takes to actually formulate a bubble if it mimics last time. Because clearly, in the early 2000s, the market was, felt the same, super hot, a lot of action going on, a lot of appreciating, a lot of, the same experiment we're seeing in the marketplace right now. Similarities. However, it did not disrupt overnight. Did not fall after the cash out started.
Yeah. There was a lot of fraud, and I mean, I think the last crash had everything to do with real estate. So I mean, it's tough to kind of make a one-to-one draw because people were they had adjustable rate mortgages. They were qualifying for 2, 3, 4 mortgages. You could write a mortgage up for somebody's dog. It was nuts. It was the wild, wild west of mortgage lending. And so, I mean, it's tough to say because the market was going so crazy up. I mean, the market was not, even the market appreciation was not as high, was higher than when we're seeing now. So if we look at the numbers, in 2002, the annual home appreciation of prices went up 8.5%. 2003, it was 8.7. 2004, it was 12.5. 2005, the market went up 11.4%. These are insane numbers. Right now, we're seeing in 2017, it went up 6.4. 2018, 4.8. 2019, 4.7. Last year, it was a big market. It went up 9.2%. Right. So I mean, we're not seeing the level of appreciation that we did back in during the bubble. And also, like we were talking about, mortgage lending standards are much higher. I can pull up this graph too. It shows the actual. It's from the Urban Institute. It shows the amount of risk that the lender takes, that a product it actually has in terms of offering it to the buyer in terms of lending standards. Is it below or above reasonable lending standards? Is it very hard to get a mortgage or is it very easy? And it shows that number is actually going down right now. It's actually getting harder to qualify for a mortgage just based off of lending standards because, I mean, you know, it just makes sense. You know, the home prices are going up and the bank's going to want to protect their investment. They don't want a bubble crash like the last time, if that makes sense. So it's harder to get a mortgage. You know, I think we're in a much stronger market than we were then. And we'll pull these graphs up so you folks have access to them as well.
And you don't need to worry because the people that run everything are way smarter than we give them credit for.
Yeah.
They wouldn't make a mistake.
They don't. No,
The guys
we
that
can
run
trust
everything.
the government. The government's good.
The central planners, we're in good hands.